It's Hip Hop Nation, the sound of the culture. Your boy Torae is in the building. Very excited for this conversation that we're about to get into today. This young lady, man, I mean, I don't know if we got enough time to run through all of the accolades and all of the many jobs and many hats, but she is a producer. She is an entrepreneur. She's a restaurateur. She's an activist. She's a mom, which is the biggest and best job. The Rock is crazy. She's a wife. She is Yandy Smith-Harris.
Woo!
Harlem's own.
Hey.
You know what I mean? In the building with us today. What's up, Queen?
Yeah, you make me sound like I got a job.
Now, you do the things. The things get done. All the things get done.
I be out here trying to just make a difference. Trying to make $1.15 and make a difference while I'm doing it.
You know, that Harlem hustle, you can't teach that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't manufacture that.
No.
You can't fake that either.
No.
You really get to it, and you are like the epitome of it. I had the pleasure as an artist and as a songwriter and rapper knowing your name and hearing your name for a really, really long time. I think before the rest of the world got a chance to see you on screen, you was behind the scenes running shit bossed up.
Oh my goodness.
From your work with Violator and Mona and management and all that.
Whoa!
Now,
You do real research.
You know what's crazy though? I do not. I only sit with people that I genuinely want to have a conversation with, that I genuinely follow or just know about them. Because what's the point?
So you really knew about Violator and all those things?
Of course.
Oh,
Like,
I'm so impressed.
I was trying to get a deal since I was like 17. And so to watch the evolution of Yandy, and one of the things so let's just slow down. Yandy is here. It's Hip Hop Nation. We got a whole lot to talk about. Obviously, all the great things that you're doing right now. It's a brand new year. The skin is glowing, by the way.
Thank you very much.
When they be like, drop the routine, sis, I see you drop them. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the spot in ATL, the store, and Dancing Crepes and all of that. But your decision to move from behind the scenes, moving around with artists and management, to being on camera and stepping into your personality as a personality, tell me, what was that thought process and transition like?
You know, it was something that it took a lot of convincing, to be honest. Originally, the idea of management was something that I thought, that's amazing. I loved seeing the hard work. I love seeing the idea come to fruition on the stage, and I love seeing the complete package of an artist. That is what made me sleep well at night, right? When we would have a concept in our head. Missy says, I want to perform in a fish tank that have real fish, but I want there to be a section where I can perform and dance, and then I want to be able to climb up the stairs on top of the fish tank and jump off into a magic box and disappear. I'm like, okay. And then me and Mona have to go and figure out what the budget is and how do we make this happen. But then actually being able to see it come alive, you know, on a tour like the ladies' first Verizon tour. And we're like, damn, we did that. Yeah. We did that. Now, when Love and Hip Hop happened, originally it was a show that was created for my clients at the time. Right. And it was called Keeping Up with the Joneses. And I wanted to showcase all the crazy stuff that made my client, all the things that made his family. And I'm like, this is TV. Right. Let me put a camera on you. Let me make this happen. But then life started to life and things started to happen. You know, we went through some crazy stuff with Max B. We had what happened with Stack Bundles. All of these things happened in the midst of us shooting this show, Keeping Up with the Joneses. And some of the things you can't pre-contrive. You can't say, okay, going to this funeral, I want you in a car with this one, I want you and this one sitting here. This is real life. Right. And I think for my client at the time, he started to feel like this is too intrusive on my real life when real things are happening and I can't deal with this. Right. So then I'm like, all right, I need to figure out making this an ensemble cast. And that's when I went to my old boss, Mona. Keeping relationships is key in this business. For sure. Mona Scott Young was no longer my boss at the time. But I'm like, I need help. I'm getting ready to have this deal. I got a whole lot of money from it. And I'm getting ready to lose my deal. I need help. I don't want to lose this deal. So she helped me conceptualize what is now today Love and Hip Hop.
The hit franchise.
This is 14, 15 years later. We're still here.
Bunch of cities.
Bunch of stars made. Bunch of people employed. And I made a lot of money as well. I felt like, you know, in the beginning, I was like, I just want to be a producer. That's it. You know, I want to be a producer. Me being in front of the camera was not even a thought. Then after the first season was done, we felt like there is a voice that's unheard. These women are great. A lot of these women are attached to the men that they're married to or the men that they're dating who are in hip hop. They might not have necessarily been hip hop artists themselves or really in hip hop themselves, but they were the pillar behind these men, helping these men thrive. But we felt like there is a woman that is in hip hop that got her stripes on her own, not being connected to a man, that just worked her way up. Who is that woman? And we started doing interviews.
Who is this woman?
Where is she?
Who could she be?
We interviewed a bunch of people, and then one day Mona turns around and she's like, well, what about you?
That's a good Mona.
And I'm like, what about me? No, I think you can do it. I'm like, Mona, I don't do my hair. I wear sweats every day. I run around. Right at this point, I was managing all men. I'm like, I don't even dress up. Absolutely not. And she's like, no, I think you got this. We'll get you a stylist. We'll get you a makeup artist. You'll be fine. And I was like, okay, listen, if I do this, you can only cover the management side. I don't want y'all to know who I'm dating. I don't want y'all up in my business. Y'all can't shoot at my house. That's it. Like, yeah, I don't even want y'all to know who my friends are. My friends are this cash. This is it. I only got friends on this show. That's it. Don't ask me about nothing. You can't even take my mama. Somehow, 14 years later, they all up in my business.
It all came out.
They know who my man is.
Right.
They saw my mama. They saw the birth of my children.
All of it.
So, yeah, it was something that I never, every year, I'm like, am I doing this again? I'm back on it again. So it's something that I'm still shocked. That I'm like, y'all really believe that I'm supposed to be on TV? Y'all believe me?
But perfect for it, and very much that person that women needed to see. I think young women and young men needed to see it. We always talk about representation matters and being able to see yourself in some of the people that you aspire to be like.
Absolutely.
So you showing that hardworking, bossed up, still fly, but still get the job done. I think it opened up so many other people's minds to what opportunities were available to them in the business.
Absolutely. I think the goal for me was I really just want to show that there is the business of hip hop, and you can do that while keeping your integrity. You can do that while being bossed up in a room full of men. You can do that without compromising who you are as a woman and be respected while you're doing it. Without being hard, still being soft and cunty. You know, I still wanted to be that, but I also wanted to show people like, but I'm going to be respected when I walk in the door. So that was important. And then somehow, I don't know, they got all up in my business throughout the process of it.
We're going to get into the business of your business when we get back. Keep it right here. It's Hip Hop Nation. You're on the wake up. Yandy is in the building. It's your tour guide. It's Hip Hop Nation, the sound of the culture. Your boy Torae is here. Yandy Smith-Harris is in the building. Yandy, let's talk about this skincare line. I'm like a real Brooklyn, New Yorker, so all I do is just wash my face and go outside, and that's it. I'm not protecting it. I'm on wild beaches. There's no sunscreen, nowhere in sight. I'm not exfoliating, none of that.
Oh, my God.
Can you get me right, Yandy?
Listen, okay? There is a common myth that black don't crack, but black will crack if you don't take care of it.
Got to take care of it.
Okay? One common theme amongst all people, no matter white, black, Hispanic, Asian, we deal with stress. Okay. And stress takes a toll on your skin. There are so many different attributes, negative ones, that leads to that leads to stressed skin, right? Stressed skin, you can have hyperpigmentation, you can have acne scarring, you can have acne breakouts, rashing, dry skin or oily skin. And I think that it's important for us to deal with those issues, just like it's important for us to deal with our mental health when we're going through stress. It's important for us, if we get sick, it's important for us to help heal whatever is sick, whatever ailments we have. Same thing with your skin. You have to cleanse your face with a skin cleanser. You have to use a cleanser that is antibacterial, that is antifungal. Okay. A lot of times you wonder why, like, you think it's normal when you have dark spots, when it's like this part of my skin is dark, this part is light, or you get acne. Those things don't have to be normal. They are happening because you are not properly cleansing your skin. Using water or using the soap you wash your body with does not cleanse your face properly.
But it says face and body wash on the bottle.
Excuse you. You need something that is particular and very specific to your skin.
Got it.
That has peptide boosting vitamins, that has collagen, that has all the things that you need to really nourish your skin cells. And I think that that is where a lot of us go wrong, because we think this, black don't crack. No, it will. It absolutely will. And you might not even think that's a problem. Hyperpigmentation is a problem. Right. You don't have to have dark spots. You don't have to have uneven skin tone. maybe you need a toner.
Maybe you need it. So reverse engineer this. Tell me why and how you got into the skincare business, and what was it about seeing, I guess, us and maybe a lack of product in the marketplace that got you to start Yelle?
So the problem was a very personal problem. I was going through a really bad depression, and all of the signs of stress was all over my skin. I had the hyperpigmentation. I was on TV shooting, and I would pop my pimples because I didn't want, acne on my skin. So I would pile makeup on my skin, which made my skin even worse. And what also led to my even more depression was I looked in the mirror. It was bad enough that I was going through life stuff. My husband was getting ready to go away. And then I looked in the mirror, and I hated the way I looked. That added to it. I went into a local chain that sells beauty supplies, and now I'm getting ready to be in that store, so I won't even mention the name of it.
Full circle.
However, I went there, and I'm like, okay, so I have dark circles around my eyes. I have hyperpigmentation. My nose is peeling, but yet I'm oily here. And they just started throwing things in the basket. When I got to the register, I waited on this long line, and she's ringing this stuff up. My cleanser alone was $174. The toner, $80. Altogether, all of my products came up to be almost $500. And I said, there's no way the average woman can afford $500 for every 30 days worth of skincare. Right. So I left the store feeling worse than I started, because I also had to ask, are you sure this works for my dark circles? Are you sure this is going to work for my brown skin? I didn't see representation. And the fact that I had to keep asking, will this work for me, was a problem. So I left the store, and I felt like there's a white space for an all-natural, plant-based skincare line. That representation matters. And I wanted to be that person to fill that void. So immediately, through my depression, I was able to birth Yelle Skincare. I got to work, and it took my mind off all the things that I was going through, which was important because I really invested a lot of time. And I didn't want to just jump into, I didn't want to be the girl, Yandy Smith from Love and Hip Hop. She put out a skincare line. No, I wanted to make sure I did the proper research. I wanted to make sure I hired the right team. I wanted to make sure that I understood the ingredient that worked. I understood the facility that the product was going to be. I wanted to visit the facility. All of those things that could really have me be proud of the brand that I was putting out there. And then another thing that was important to me, how is this going to help the melanin in our skin? What are the attributes that's going to really help nourish and keep our skin like this? So I researched, and I found out so many things. And originally, the first line I had was like the cucumber melon line, the strawberry this. Put it out. I gave it to my friends, gave it to my mom, gave it to family. I put it out amongst my friend group. Baby, we broke out. Broke out. That was my first little $6,000, and it was no good. I had to throw the whole line away. Then I said, strip all of it. Strip the scents. I want to stick to just naturally the plant-based everything. I don't want to have any scents. I don't want to have anything extra in this line. Went back to the drawing board and got a new factory and worked for another 2 years. So although it's really been 9 years in the making, we officially are in our 5th year because it took me 4 years to develop this line. And I'm proud of it, very proud of it.
And you should be. And I think that part is really important because people see the wins and they look at the success and they see the follows and they see but they don't understand that there's so much that goes into it. And sometimes you got to take a L and learn from it and then come back. You can either let it crush you or you can come back and recalibrate and get it right from there.
That's it.
And Yelle is a testament to that. And then you got a brick and mortar too.
Yes.
Which is a whole other business, having a physical place. To talk to me about that.
Yeah, so when I moved to Atlanta, the whole vibe of Yelle Skincare is like this place where you can not only cleanse your skin, but you cleanse your spirit. In the beginning of me starting this line, like I said before, I was going through a really tough time in my life. So I would get in front of the mirror and I would put on my favorite song, whatever it is for that day, whatever my vibe was, and I would dance. And I would have my babies in the video. I'm using the skincare, they're using the skincare. And when I did that video for the first time, I had been out for about 3-4 months. I might have sold 1 or 2 systems. I couldn't figure out why. I'm on TV. I'm talking about the brand on TV. Why am I not selling this brand? I got in front of the mirror, put some music on, washed my face, and I'm dancing. Skylar and Amir dancing with me. They're little babies. And I'm like, oh, we got a sale. We got 10 sales. We got 30 sales. We got 50 sales. And that is when I realized people want to know that I'm not just a salesperson for this brand, but if I trust it on my 3 and my 4-year-old, maybe this really works. Maybe it really doesn't burn your eyes when you wash your face. Maybe it really is all natural and it's an ingredient that she trusts if she's using it on her children. And then I talked about this. I don't want to just have my face pretty. I want to feel good on the inside. Right. So for me to wash my face, I got to put my music on. I got to be around people I love. And I'm doing this every morning and every night. Before they go to school, we wash our face. At night, before we go to bed, we washing our face together. And it became kind of a movement where I'm like, let's get in here. Let's feel good. So whenever anybody will come to my house, whether we were shooting the show at my house or if I have friends come over, we got to do a Yelle video. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite dance move? Because we about to go in the bathroom. We're going to be dancing. And it became kind of a thing. Yeah. And that is what sold the product because my friends were using it. My kids were using it. And people saw like, oh, wait, she's really serious about this thing. She trusted on her friends. She trusted on her kids. So that was something that really separated us and made us different. And I wanted people to be able to come into the store and feel the same way. So when you walk into the store, it looks like the Garden of Eden. Mm-hmm. It's grass on the floor. It's all these beautiful flowers. The shelves are adorned with a bunch of different flowers. There's this big like arch thing in the middle that's filled with flowers and roses and these big, tall, 7-foot glass metal things, vases. Just beautiful. But I wanted you to feel like you're walking into the Garden of Eden and just get that feeling. First, it's all natural. It's plant-based, but you feel good when you walk in. So the brick and mortar was so that you can understand the vibe and the essence of the brand.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yandy Smith-Harris is here. Hip Hop Nation, your tour guide is here. Much like you did in your videos, we're going to allow you to play your favorite joint. What you turning up to? What's your favorite hip-hop record out right now? What we on?
Oh,
give me your vibe.
You know, Megan Thee Stallion can do no wrong in my book right now. I'm loving all her stuff. I'm also really loving this new Kendrick album. So that has been my rotation, Megan and Kendrick.
Okay.
So what's your favorite Kendrick record right now on the new?
We could do TV off.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We could do Reincarnated, or we could put on for the ladies and do the Megan Thee Stallion Texas joint.
Let's
Bigger
do
in
it.
Texas. That's one of my favorite records.
That's one of my favorite records too.
Yeah, she's spitting on that. We're gonna take it to H-Town. You on the wake up.
Let's go, Megan.
It's Hip Hop Nation, the sound of the culture. Your boy Torae is here. Yandy Smith-Harris is in the building. Yandy, outside of all the incredible business endeavors and production and all the things that you're doing in the television and film space, and obviously your history with artists, you also out on the front lines in a whole different way. Mm-hmm. You know, your activism is key as me, like, oh, Mendici's in the building.
Hey, boo.
As somebody who pays attention to where we are in the country, where we are in the world, where we are in history, and how we need to continue to move forward and evolve. I love the fact that was for Mendici's, y'all. I love the fact that you are out there and not afraid to put your name and your physical well-being right there on the front lines for us. Where does that come from? Just your love of our people and the fact that not only do you love us, but you need to be out there. When something goes down, you there. You know what I'm saying? When somebody gets into a situation, you there, right there for us.
You know, I don't take it lightly that I've been given this opportunity to have this platform. I remember on Twitter when I got 20,000 followers, I was like, there are 20,000 people that care about what I have to say. I better say something. I better do something. So now when it's almost 8 million people, collectively 11 million people that care about what I have to say, I have to make sure I'm saying something that, one, makes a difference. I have to make sure I'm saying something that promotes change. I have to make sure I'm saying something that makes a better world for my children. I don't want to live in this world knowing I did nothing to help it be better. There's so much, I don't know if I can curse, but there's so much.
Say that shit.
There's so much bullshit that happens every day. I can't sit by. I can't sit back and not do anything. And I think for us, it's important for us when you have a platform, when you have a voice, to get out there and use it for some good. And that if that's making up some good trouble, if that's stirring up some people, if that's making notice of something, like I think about Breonna Taylor. Nobody talked about Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor was murdered, I believe it was March 13th. No one talked about it until May. The officers were still working. They never got suspended. They never got fired. No one mentioned it until we really were able to mobilize a group of people, get them on the phone. There was a black woman that was murdered while she rested in her apartment with her boyfriend. No one's talking about it. And that type of mobilization where we bring attention and awareness is what, really led to an indictment.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people are like, oh, that's cap. They just want to beat it. They just, no. I had to leave my children.
Right.
I had to leave my children during COVID and go march and sit on Daniel Cameron's lawn. I got a felony charge for that. That's nothing that you do for cap. I don't want to walk around and have to try to get my records expunged when I got out. Who knows? Any given moment, I could need a job. I could need a corporate job. With a felony, and I got 2 felonies from that, right? Because I did it 2 times. That's not something you do for cap. That's something that you do because that black woman could have been me. Yeah. When the feds came to my house, I could have been that person that got murdered and there's a baby or there's a husband or there's a boyfriend that's like, where's mom? And because of those things, I have to be the voice for the voiceless. I have to be, and my voice isn't my voice. My voice is 7.6 million people on Instagram. My voice is 2.3 million on Facebook. My voice is this amount of million on TikTok. I have to be that person. I cannot use this platform and take it in vain. I can't. So, people can say what they want. Oh, she's there because I don't even know. I don't know what the thing is as to why I show up, but I have children and I cannot be in this world and in this space and not help this world be a better place for them. I can't.
I think it's evident. Obviously you always going to have people hide behind these phones. So you're always going to have a naysayer here and there. But I think the vast majority of people feel your passion and really see that you out there and see that you really care. And it's not just because it's cameras on or it's, video recorded, but because you actually have an affinity and a passion for our people.
But I got to take a moment, right? Because I spoke to Torae earlier and he was on his way to a middle school to talk to some kids. There are so many heroes amongst us that care about the future, that care about what's going on out there. And I think that we have to really applaud those people, applaud you. I want to take this moment to applaud you in what you do because it's so important to be a voice. There are so many young children that don't have a dad to look up to, that have this amazing platform, this job, that look like you, talk like you, wear, you have on a hoodie now, right? For a long time, wearing hoodies was something that was looked down upon. Trayvon Martin was murdered because they felt threatened because he had on a hoodie. Right. But you're able to go into these schools with this job and talk in your hoodie and represent the way you should. No doubt. And there are some young people that need to see that. There are many young people that need to see that and understand who you are is just as it's perfect who you are. Right. And you can make a difference no matter how you talk. You don't have to go in with this type of vernacular. You don't have to go in using these kinds of words or wearing a suit and a tie or a bow tie, 3-piece suit. You can be successful and look just like this and be a modern day hero. And those people are just as important as those heroes in the corporate office that are changing the way things work, or those that are on the Senate floor, or those that are sitting up there changing policy, just as important.
Absolutely. And that representation, they people that look like us need to be in all of these spaces.
Absolutely.
So that the next generation can understand that. I think the flip side of that, too, is your philanthropic efforts, right? So much giving back that you do, from Christmas drives to back to school to all of that, man. Your passion for the people it rings so loud. But speaking of the holidays, you produced and on the Christmas joint, and then we got the vocals too, right? Yo, turn the mics up.
No,
turn the mics up.
Do not turn the mics up. Check 1 2 1 2. This mic is off. Yandy's mic is off.
The mic is hot. Just talk to me about that, because again, so many layers. You peel back and you show so many different facets of who Yandy is, but that was something new for you.
That was something new, and I'm very bashful about it, hence the reason why I would not have brought it up if you did not bring it up.
It's my job. It's what I'm here for.
So me getting on that mic, again, much like Love and Hip Hop, I had to be begged because I was like, what? You want me to sing? So the director of this movie is someone that I did my first movie with. And on set, I would always walk around just singing. This is what I like to do. I sing in the shower. I sing around the house. I just like to do that kind of thing. But it's nothing I would ever be serious about. Kind of like TV. I would never be serious about TV. I'm never getting in front of the camera is what I said. And 14 years later, I'm in front of the camera. I'm never working on a song or getting on a soundtrack or putting out an album. I'm never doing that. And then all of a sudden, someone's like, listen, Yandy, we heard you singing. We want you to come on board as a producer. I'm like, I can come on as a producer, but what does me singing have to do? Well, we want you on the soundtrack as a producer. I was like, what?
Crazy.
No, absolutely. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Absolutely not. Okay, well, it's a $45,000 job. I was like, how much?
I might make it to the studio.
Yeah, and I'm like, when do you want to do? Like, 30 days from now.
Crazy.
And I was like, what? So I literally hired a vocal coach. I got in the studio, and every day I met with a vocal coach for an hour. And I was like, kids, leave me alone. Husband, leave me alone. I got to go meet with my vocal coach, or she's coming to the house. Don't make fun of me. Don't laugh at me at this piano. I have a piano in the middle of my living room. Not that I played piano or any of my children, but I had it, and my vocal coach was like, perfect, we're going to practice here in your living room. So I'm like, guys, close the door. Don't, if you hear me sing, say nothing about it. I did it, and man, when I tell you I was so nervous, even like when they're like, okay, we have one more thing. We need a live performance. It'll be another check. So can you, and I'm like, well, okay, fine. And I did that, but I'm like, listen, I'll do this live performance, but you better have my vocals behind. People's like, she was lip syncing. I wasn't lip syncing at all. That was me in the studio that recorded it, but I was like, you better have my vocals on.
You gotta have it.
I'm like, have my vocals on.
Yeah, keep me
right. And I was like, you don't have to have them super loud, but have my vocals on, because I don't know what this voice is gonna do. This is my first performance ever, and it's a live performance, and the show was shooting. I was like, it's too many things happening.
Right, a lot of variables.
It's a lot of variables, and I was like, and not to mention, this is maybe TMI for you guys, but I was on the toilet all day because my nerves was bad. And I was like, I don't know if I have to run off the stage. I don't know what's going to happen. That might be clickbait. My husband is laughing like you're doing too much. But it was bad. Everybody got cursed out of my house. The only people I didn't curse at was my kids, but they almost got cursed at. Because I was like, y'all just don't, leave me alone. Let me be in my moment. I'm sick. I'm on the toilet, and I got to perform later on tonight. Everybody leave me alone.
That's nerves, Yandy.
It was
the nerves.
horrible. That's why I said I'm never doing it again.
But you did that, though.
But I did it.
But you did that.
I did it, and I was so happy. And they're like, so can we get an album out of you? Can we, the next season of Love and Hip Hop, can you do another song? No.
Now, Yandy's back in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first on Hip Hop Nation. You work with so many artists. You've been in the studio. You know what that's like. You know
Never
that
on
groove.
that side of the studio booth.
You know what that part is like. So now you're gonna get in the other side.
So different
of the plexiglass and being there and work on that. But we want to continue to support all your endeavors, everything that you got going on. So yeah, make sure I support Yelle Skincare. And if you go to the brick and mortar, then drop by the crepe spot next door, right? Yeah, get you some food, get your skin right.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Get the Yandy album. Mendices is in the building. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you celebrate this Black love. We got an opportunity to see you guys go through some real adversity, and you know, we watch movies and we watch TV, and some of this shit is scripted in the fantasy world, but real life is real, and we got a chance to see y'all go through some of the most tested and trying times, and y'all still here and y'all still strong. I was so happy when he walked through the door. We're going to continue to support this in every way that we can possibly.
Thank you so much. This
Make
was
sure y'all
such
tap in
a
with
pleasure.
Yandy. It's Hip Hop Nation. It's your tour guide.